we're just going to hop off schedule for maybe 10 minutes, and I'm just going to let Xin do an official closeout of the Safety 2022 and talk about the work that's been done in order for that. So thank you, Xin.
Thanks. Yeah, right. While Charles was doing that, I think we finally made it. Right, so we spent 8 years. All this started in 2015. When I started dropping an idea on the piece of paper, thinking we will attract a major international conference to Adelaide to showcase the best work that we are doing in this country, and also learning from the international community. So throughout the conference, AUS's logo has been displayed everywhere throughout the conference. And I like one of the comments that the CEO of PHA said to us, that who knows what this association is, before 2016, and now the whole world knows about it. Yesterday, in several workshop talks that are not belonging to us, the speakers are all acknowledging AUSA and said they want to increase the relationship with us on multiple angles of working. Right. So I just want to reflect a little bit on our journey, which I talked about 2015. 2016, where I met with the chief scientist of South Australia government and had a chat with her on getting funding from the government for hosting this conference. And she asked me this question, why should I give the money to you? I said, I just want to showcase, we as professional staff members of universities are doing amazing jobs and also can do amazing jobs, as well as our academic staff member. That really moved her. So in 2016, I was awarded by the South Australia government on the Adelaide Convention Award. And AUSA has, at that time, decided to be supporting the conference, but we can't take the conference as a whole. It's too much of a financial input. So 2017, we got the Public Health Association of Australia on board, and I was the National Bidding Committee chair. And we submitted, I believe, if I didn't remember wrong, 46 pages of documentation, alongside with the signature letters from AUSA, AIHS, and I think 13 WHO collaboration centers in Australia, other UNSA, and Flinders University, and all VCs signed on that. So. And also as well as PHA. So in 2018, I went to Richard, who's the conference chair, and myself went to the Bangkok, and in this massively big, probably multiple times bigger than where we were at yesterday, convention center received the Safety 2022 transfer over 2020, yes, 2020. Glenn knows about it. 2020, and then 2020 COVID hit. That's where we ended up with 2022. With 2022. Yes, PHA's journey with us is 6 years, and they were absolutely correct. 6 years. Our journey is 8 years. Unfortunately, they put the money out. We don't. So that's the difference. But we got AUSA on there. AUSA on there. All right. So I think the best thing for me is the networking is important. We haven't seen each other for 4 years, and that's partially because of COVID. And in thinking about before COVID time in 2019 in Perth, that a big conference that we had, right? So it's really fantastic. Here's a photo of me and Jessica right in there, right? On day one.
And then also Charles and also Kim, we were there holding frames for taking photos and all that. Right. At the conference opening, right, so we got WHO director talking on the importance of injury prevention and also safety promotion within all sectors, including ours. And as well as what Teresa mentioned, I just want to show you what that's welcome to country. Jack did a fantastic job, and I was up there talking for AUSA, you know, talking on behalf of AUSA for the Australian WHS industry to address the international industry. We had one state of the art. So Nick Torres is our member. I believe many of us were at that session in showing, and that this one I like the most, right? Hierarchy of control, hierarchy of options. Right? And also we had Drew and as well as Robin, who are the nation's top speakers in talking about safety systems and what is the actual system, whether we are compliance driven or whether we should be safety driven. Right. Moving into psychosocial risk management, we were able to invite Professor Maureen Dollard from UniSA to come out to talk. And thanks UniSA for the time. Right. Maureen hasn't been talked for many years in conferences, and this is one of the very first one that we were able to really drag her out for that purpose. Yes, she talked quite long, I know that, right? But right. We also had Alicia there because she's here in person. I'm not going to show her photo. We have Jim Kelly from New South Wales as the Director of Health and Safety Design, if I didn't remember wrong, or talk to us on the legislations, and also Kirsten Wei from UQ talking to us on return to work, right? To return to work. Yeah, that's you. That's you. Yes, I did capture you. Right? I did capture you. Right. So with the regulator roundtable, we had the ACT WorkSafe Commissioner as well as 3 other senior leaders, executives of the regulators coming over to talk. We attracted the 2 international regulators actually in the room. I don't know whether anyone actually sit there. Later on, I heard right from them. Right, so 2 international regulators in the room learning from us to see what our practices is in Australia. Right, Kim was lucky enough. The regulators really liked her. Right, so we got Kim in the center to take a photo with all the regulators, and I did one as well. Right, so then we had our AUSA only session with Paul from Monash talking about their learning from COVID-19, which is fantastic. I think that's some many common things within ourselves, right? As well as Paul talking about enforceable undertaking in Adelaide Uni. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to take a photo of Sharon because I was just listening to see what they have done after I left ANU. Right? As I said, the conference started from 2015 until 2022. During this time, there were 5 presidents and 5 rounds of executives there. I have so many people to thank. I think Darren Roberts, who was the very first president who signed off on the supporting letter, where he has left the sector. Stephen Wing, who has put a tremendous amount of efforts into this conference and into AUSA, he has left the sector. Where Scott, who has put again tremendous amount of effort into the thing, and he has left the sector. Where Julia also supported me along the way through the conference, and also left the sector. And also this one hasn't. This one hasn't. Right, Teresa is still here, and I really appreciate Teresa's support during the time for us to have the conference. Right, as well as that, the 5 rounds of executives I really don't have the complete list, but the ones that really stand out. Glenn, where I'm putting things on the website, I just give to him and go, Glenn, put it on second morning. Oh, great, thank you. and also Mark, in supporting me recently. Colin, back then on the money side, because I believe every single cent I need to get, I need to talk to him really strongly and make a case for him to give me the money. And there are so many more who are either still here or have left our sector. I would also like to thank the conference working group, Megan, right, who's there? Charles, who is there? And also Maria there. Unfortunately, Danny, due to work commitment, she can't be here. She's online? Great. Right, so thank you, Danny, as well. All of you. Without you, I probably wouldn't get the WHS stream up and running because of the workload, but I really appreciate your support in getting where we are today. Right. In saying that, we received some really positive feedback, right, on all the sessions. And also yesterday, the WHO and the conference chair both approached me and said they heard so many good things about WHS stream, and this is one of the best one in the history of the conference. As well as that, people from international countries actually said, really showcased the Australian WHS industry. So thank you all to be a part of this journey, and to be a part of this history of this World Conference. So the last point I would like to make is from January next year, I will step down from the secretary position. As I said, I have been here for 8 years, 5 rounds of executives, 5 presidents. I think I'll probably have been here for too long. I need to step down to have a rest for myself, put more time back into the family, and also giving people more opportunity to showcase. Just a self-reflection of my journey here. Right, 2015 to 16, I chaired the Nano Safety Special Interest Group, and also Maria and Julie Haitian from WA, Curtin actually assisted me, and Julie has left the sector. Right, in 2016 to 2018, I was the SANT chapter before Charles, and Jenny Hardy, if I don't know whether anyone still remembers her, and also Linda Noben was supporting me through the journey there on the executives, who has both left the sector. Right, so in 18 to 2022, I was the also secretary, for that, and during this time, I was also the award committee chair. So this year passed on to Mark, right, and from next year, I'm stepping down. So that's great. That's great. That's great. Right. Finally, I would like to say some word about our association. I think I have 6 professional associations that I have affiliations to. Right. Pretty much like the old-time academic thinking. Right. But AUSA is one that I spend most of my time and have most of the love to, right? Because this is for our sector, and this is for the benefit of us, right? I believe under Teresa and the current executives' leadership, we will take AUSA to a much brighter and great future. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Shin. I'm not sure what we can say after that. It's oh gosh, I'm getting a bit emotional. That's weird. Excuse me. Thank you so much. Like, your longevity in the association, I think, goes a long way to echo what we're all trying to do here. So I really appreciate the support you've given all of us. And hopefully, yes, we can. The first question I asked Shin when he called me last night to let me know was, can I twist your arm? And he emphatically said no. But really appreciate the efforts and totally respect as well that we all do need to look after ourselves. It is a volunteer-led organisation. So really appreciate the efforts you've put in and the sacrifices you've made. But yes, please do take a well-earned break, continue to be our member and come back on board and keep supporting us. So big shoes to fill, but I really appreciate your efforts. So we will be, unfortunately, looking for a new secretary. We do have a very supportive executive. We all do have very busy day jobs, and we all respect that as well. And I think just reflecting again on Shin's decision and some of the conversations in presentations in the last few days about we are health, safety and wellbeing professionals. And really, we've got to practice what we preach as well. We've got to look after ourselves first, otherwise we're no good to anyone. So really respect your decision. But with that, we will be looking for some more people to come help us on executive and in that leadership team as well. So we'll be obviously be looking for a new secretary from next year, from the beginning of next year. And also, if there's anybody out there online or in the room who's got a particular interest in social media, or a particular appetite around events management as well, we'd really like a little bit more support in that space, if possible. But we will continue doing the great work that we do. But yeah, I'm rambling now, so I'm going to stop.